Welcome to the Development Pod. I'm your host, Brendan Brown. Today we're going to be talking about how to know if you're around the right people and also how to avoid negative people if you're around them as well. So here's how you can know if your friends are actually your real friends. Y'all both can agree to disagree because a lot of people think that friendships or relationships are just where everything's positive. Both agree to disagree. That's how you can know if you're really friends with this person or if that group is really your true friends, that y'all agree to disagree, because everybody all has their down points. We all think that friendships are all about positivity, but sometimes as friendships it always can be negative sometimes too. But not negative to where y'all are toxic, but negative to where y'all have y'all down moments and y'all up moments. But it's through the end, can y'all actually be real friends? That applies to any a friend, group, or significant other. Can y'all go through the end together? The next way how you can know if a person to know that they really want to be your friend is that they believe in you and they support what you do. If you have friends that support you, whatever it is, then that's a good friend. If they always uplift you, if they always do the right things by your side to help you do better. Which leads to the next one, which is sometimes it may hurt, but they tell you the truth no matter what it is. They give you that constructive criticism that makes you think, sit back, and realize, maybe I was wrong, Jeff. I should have apologized. Maybe I was wrong, Carl. You're right, Jeff. Such. You know, y'all, like I said earlier, y'all have y'all down moments, but it's through the end, can y'all actually be real good friends? Another sign is that you and that person may have the same passion, the same interest, maybe even the same mindset on how y'all see life. If you got all those three things I just listed, then that's your best friend. That's your best group that you're with. Or if it's a significant other, that's your best mate. You having that same thought that they have is amazing. Because now you have somebody you can relate with. You have somebody that you can rely on that's trustworthy. Because if they think the same way you do, then that's good. Now sometimes it can be negative if they think the same way you think in a negative standpoint, but I don't get too complex here. Another sign that you know that this person is a good friend is that you can tell by the people they hang with. Or if it's a significant other, you can tell by the group of people they hang with if that's the right person you should be around. If you're a guy just trying to look for that gal and her friends are all gossip people, stay away from that woman. If you're a girl trying to look for a guy and that guy's probably having a group of guys who's egotistical and that's his buddies, be careful. I mean, that's how I see it. People can always change, but if the group of people they hang with is negative and is sucking them to being negative, stay away from that person, because that's how you know if they're negative, and that's how you can know if they're negative and not positive. Which leads me to my next one, is that we're going to talk about the list of signs that a person is negative. They secretly envy you. They also have something bad to say. They always have something bad to say, especially those ones that are passive aggressive, because I can tell you from experience, I've met people who have been passive aggressive with me, and I met people who've been genuinely nice with me. Sometimes people can use their niceness to really get you and put you in that trap, and then you're in trouble, or then you're dealing with a negative person because they try to prey on you by being so nice. Especially my parents always tell me that advice. Be careful when people prey on you to be nice, because everybody's not always going to agree with you, but everybody can always fake it to make it to agree with you. So you just got to be aware. Another sign is that when they have a friend group, they never introduce you to that friend group, or maybe even that friend group may act kind of standoffish with you. If you notice that the friend group, or even that friend you're talking to, that person you're talking to, isn't trying to introduce you to the other people, or just say all of them acting negative, get the heck away from all of them, from all of them, because they are not willing to want to see you, so they are not willing to want to be around you, and let their negative vibe stay where they're at. The next sign to show that you're probably around the wrong person is that they think small-mindedly. Steve Harvey once said, to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. Small-minded people don't have to always be friends. Sometimes small-minded people can be your own family. Yes, I'm going to say it again. Sometimes small-minded people can be your family. And some people can change, like I always say. People are not definitively negative nor definitively positive, but we are all three-dimensional. There's a reason why we do certain things, but I'll get to that to the end. But to focus back on here, anybody can be small-minded. Did you know that a lot of successful people Well, not even a lot. Let me say that. Maybe some successful people probably didn't become who they were because maybe their family members stopped them from what they did. Maybe sometimes even their close friends, their significant others, all etceteras. I can tell you from experience that family and friends can go against you. Some of the family members, those ones that were really not believing in my dream career of being doing YouTube, now agree with me. People can change. But like I said, I'm going to get to that later in the episode. The next sign that a person may be negative is that they have insecurities and aren't confident in themselves. In return, be mean to you. Why? Because they're dealing with a problem. That's one thing about people. School shooters, psychopaths, people who are bullying other people, all of this. And this may sound crazy, but they're not being evil because they were born with it. Maybe some. Maybe. But there are a good bit that are made that way through being pre-exposed or exposed to negativity. Maybe in a household, dealt with a toxic family member, been bullied before, dealt with so many things, people saying this, that to them. It's an internal situation, internal thing. And that's why so many people become so corrupt and wicked, because of that mind. Which leads me to my last thing to just cover up this whole thing. This whole theme about people in general being negative and positive and avoiding them. People can change. Just because this person is doing XYZ, they can change. Just because they may be a psychopath, they can change. Just because they're just an average person that's maybe being negative to you, they can change. My family, mainly my mom, my grandmother, and my father, I'll point them three people out. They didn't believe in my YouTube career. Now they see it as potential for me to grow. But when I first started about 3 to 2 years ago, they thought all this would be crazy. I dealt with adversity, dealt with somewhat made up insecurities, because sometimes we can have made up insecurities where I feel bad about doing YouTube because my parents may say it's not a real career, which in reality it is a real career, just in their household they're imagining it's like that. Sometimes we as people can get predisposed by fake insecurities. Fake insecurities is a made up word I made, and definition for it is that you get predisposed by people saying things that's not real. Like for me doing YouTube. Like my family tell me about YouTube, how it wasn't good, but now they believe in it now. Or even you probably getting bullied at school for this and that, XYZ. But it's not a bad thing. You may not be ugly. You may not be dumb. You may actually be smart. You may actually be unique in your own way. And to other people, they may see it as a blessing, while other people may see it as a curse. But in reality, they're just cursing themselves by being negative to you. Hey guys, so while Manning, I just want to tell y'all something. And I also want to say here too as well, just to add on to what I was saying there on the video, is that my examples of fake insecurities was that my own grandmother thought that, let's say it, it's going to be so funny and really ridiculous. She thought that I was slow, that I needed medicine, that I probably had ADHD, just because I wanted to live my dream and leave the rat race. Because I wanted to pursue my career into YouTube. And that she thought that this podcasting, this YouTubing career would not be realistic. It just wouldn't fit. It's normal to work under the man. She thought that for me, wanting to be an entrepreneur, YouTuber, podcaster, would be something made up in my mind that I wanted to do. But of course now, she understands completely what I'm doing now for my career, but when I first started, yeah, it was just weird. I mean, who would think like that? Who in their own mind would think like that? Especially for their own relative, grandson, however it is. But I just want you to know that when a person doesn't understand your career, don't expect them to think that, oh, I support you. Because if it's foreign to them, what would a person do? Maybe go against it, or either not understand it, so just think, okay, why are you doing this? And some people may think it's foreign and may accept it, but from her standpoint, it was foreign, and she looked at it as attack and not take in, just attack and defend me from it. But now she understands what I'm doing. And I just feel that, and I just want you to notice that whatever you're going through, whatever you're doing, make sure you be around the right people. And if you don't have nobody, for me personally, I had my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who helped me through the adversity I went through with my career with YouTube, slowly growing and me learning how to do YouTube and everything at the time, with relatives going against me at the time, who are now agreeing with me. And before I did podcasting, like I said, I dealt with verbal bullying back in middle school, elementary school, not as bad in high school now, of course. And this is post podcasting me now, because in middle school, I never had a podcast. I didn't start till the pandemic, of course. So, like I said, once I got to high school, bullying wasn't as bad no more. Like I say, whatever you're going through, you have him. It's a choice if you want to serve him. But that's how I went through all this. Through the divine nature, through the divine faith, and through also being around the right people and the right friends I've met through being virtual in the pandemic world before we got to this post-pandemic world. Because I started podcasting when COVID had started, and now look at it, it's growing. This video podcast, YouTube channel is growing. Speak now, AI is coming in, so like the traditional jobs that my parents and everybody was saying, like, that's the way to live. Not really, because a lot of people are going to lose their so-called safe jobs. And I predicted this about 3 or 2 years ago. If you listen to one of my old podcast episodes, like if you were a real first-time listener, like when I first started this podcast back like 2020, you'll see like there's a bunch of episodes I had in 2021 where I said so, and in 2020 I said that robots would take over and there'll be a world where you would have to either be a content creator, you would have to be a business owner, you would have to do some type of skill that don't require a robot to replicate it. And now look at where we're at, just as how I predicted. I just want you guys to know that you have to have the faith, rather if it's divine faith or your own faith, and have the right people to be around. Physically, of course, and spiritually through divine faith. Like for me, I believe in Jesus Christ as my spiritual and number one friend in the world on anybody. If you didn't learn one thing, I just want you to know one thing, is that don't let nobody dictate what you do. Don't let nobody control your thoughts, because if you let people control your thoughts,
then it's over. Game over. Don't let fake insecurities get inside your head. Let it go.
Sometimes we let fake insecurities get to us, and that can change and flip out how we react to certain things in life. And maybe even traumatize our thoughts, our ability to succeed. That's all I want you as a viewer to know. But to anybody else who you're talking to, viewer, or even for me who I'm talking to, people can always change. But we do need to avoid negative people. Just be aware that people can come at you from all sides of the direction, but you made the definitive choice for your life. And to conclude this video, even at times I still deal with adversity, I have that good divine faith around me. And the same for you. And the same for my team, the Golden State Warriors. As it's recording, they're 0-2 in the playoffs from the Kings, but they'll win and they'll beat them and they'll push it to game 6 or 7. Because not just I'm a fan, but also they're dealing with adversity and they have a good team and a good people around them. And you do too. And if you don't have them, go find them. Since you already watched this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.